guys, this is Rob with Next Gen Rider here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about AlienRider intelligent or adaptive lighting systems. So the M901 has been out for a bit. It's their first generation product for intelligent lighting or adaptive lighting. And the AlienRider M902 Pro has just come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to take a closer look and understand the differences between the AlienRider M901 and the M902 Pro. Okay, so let's take a look. What I have here on the left is a driving light from an M901 intelligent lighting system, and here on the right is an M902 Pro driving light lamp module. So we'll start off by taking a look at the M901. And you'll notice that it has a side-by-side configuration for the driving and adaptive light. So this is the main driving light here. It has a lower yellow beam and then a high white beam. And then on the auxiliary, you also have a low beam and a high beam as well. And these are the angled lights that give you the adaptive or intelligent lighting feature. With that, the housing is a little bit convoluted, plus they have a lot of fins on here for cooling probably. And so it makes for a lot of nooks and crannies that are kind of hard to keep clean on this thing. It took a heat shield on the top, and then the bottom was the beefy mount where your bracket would bolt to. But if you wanted to hang this from below the bar and have your bracket here, you'd have to use the top where the heat shield mounted. And this material here was not quite as robust. It was kind of thin. It was only kind of designed for this heat shield. I think it was an afterthought to mount, or maybe just not the best design. So there you have it. That's a quick look at the M901 as far as physical construction. So now let's take a look at the M902 Pro. So you can see here what they've done is they've gone to a vertical stacked arrangement for the driving light and auxiliary light. So down here, this is the main beam. You still have a low beam and a high beam, low beam yellow, high beam white. And then the auxiliary light is above it, and then it shoots out in an angle. Again, low beam, high beam. So now with that configuration, you have a nice round enclosure. And it's a lot smoother. It's going to be a lot easier to keep clean. And you can see as well, they did away with the rear marker on this light module. And the pigtail's a little bit longer, which probably doesn't seem like much. It's probably maybe 1 to 2 cm longer. But it makes a difference when you're trying to kind of tuck the connection away from the driving light. At least it did to me. So there you have it. Those are the differences in the physical construction. And also, so it looks like it's universal now with regards to the lower and upper mount. Slightly different design, but you have the upper screws and lower screws that are, look like they're the same beefy metal that they go into to mount the bracket. So no problem to hang the light or put the light up above the bracket. So the next big difference on these lights is going to be power. So the 901 is a 120 watt driving light system. So it's going to be 60 watts per side, which means your lower beam and your upper beam are 30 watts each. Now, your auxiliary lights are rated at 15 watts, low beam, 15 watts, high beam. But what you need to understand is that this smart lighting system does power management. So when you're in adaptive or intelligent lighting mode or using your auxiliary beams, then that 60 watts gets shared between all the lights on this lamp module. So it'll throttle the high beam and low beam on the driving light a little bit to provide power for the auxiliary lighting. So that's the way it works. It's 60 watts of power available to the lamp module. If you're not using auxiliaries, then you'll get your full wattage to your driving lights and your high beam. But if you have auxiliaries enabled, then it's going to manage that power between the two lights. Now on the M902, it's the same concept, the same power management, but we have more power available to the bulb. So the M902 is a 180 watt system, which means you get 90 watts to each lamp module. Main driving light and high beam, or low beam main driving light and high beam are 45 watts each for a total of 90 watts. And then again, the auxiliaries are still 15 watts each that are managed within the 90 watts available to the driving light per side. So the next thing I want to talk about is the 3-button controller. They did improve the logic on this button controller a little bit. On the 901, what would happen if your lights were off? You would press button 1 once, you would get low beam. Press button 1 a second time, you would get high beam, and then a third press would turn them off. So what would happen, it would put you in this situation. You're driving around, you press this once, you have your low beam yellow driving lights on, and then someone flashes you and you want to be courteous and turn your lights off. What you would have to do is press this a second time, give them a high beam shot, and then press it a third time to shut your lights off. Not ideal. So what happened with the M902 is they improved that logic. So now this button only gives you an initial turn on and then toggles from low beam to high beam. So as many times as you press it, it's just going to switch back and forth. To shut the lights off, if lights are on, then you hit the flash button and it turns lights off. So what's changed on the flash function is if you have lights on, you're going to hit the flash button, you're going to turn lights off, and then you'll have to hit the flash button again to enter flash mode. But I think that's a far better arrangement than the way this was configured on the M901. So there you have it. That's a breakdown on the differences between the AlienRider M901 and the AlienRider M902 intelligent lighting systems. Both very, very capable systems, but some improvements and more power on the M902 Pro. Thanks for watching.